Hello, welcome to Down with Dragons here on Monsters of Roll on Twitch. I am DM Scott. With me, as always,
Killian playing Maven Corpse Flower, a Circle of Spores druid who really wants to kick a vampire's ass, but not before exploring his laboratory.
And Mick playing Holliver, the Worm, veteran gnome scout, master relic hunter, used to be a aficionado of knowledge and lore, but now is just a crazy multi-level marketing scheme, elemental warlock patron following nut job.
Yeah, that was great.
As one does.
Chris playing Viet, 8-foot tall dwarf with a blue arm, ranger barbarian, paranoid, looking around, sheepdogging everybody as we're here with this space here with undead everywhere, and pretty darn surly still after being resurrected at everybody.
yeah, fair.
And Catherine playing Juniper Swift, I never think about this during the week. A cleric with a complex. I don't know. That's
I like
Ooh,
that.
I like that. I like that.
I'm a fan.
Back to you, Scott.
Thank you for that. Before we dive in, do we have any announcements, dear Killian?
Oh, dear God, I hope not, because I'm not prepared for those. Other than we have merch.
Woo!
I bet you guys are sick of me saying it every week, but we got some pretty sick, nasty, cool merch. You want a picture of Maven Corpse Flower on pretty much anything you own? I got you covered, man. Go down below to our link to our Redbubble store. This stuff is super cool. Unfortunately, my Maven clock did break, but that's okay. We are repurposing her. I did step on it. That is my fault. Didn't know it was on the ground. Can't hold a fully grown woman, apparently. Redbubble, get it together. I'm just kidding. But this stuff is super cool, and you're supporting the show, so go check it out. We also have our logo if you don't want to, put a character's face on your stuff. Super cool. And last but not least, I'm going to plug it every week until someone gives it to us. We take inspiration requests. So if you would like to shout out to your favorite player, tell them what they did that you really liked, or if you want to give DM Scott the upper hand in our next encounter, which I'm sure he needs, because we are so strong and so powerful and so cool. Go ahead and contact us in the link down below using the hashtag inspiration. Let us know what you like. Give us some feedback on the show. We always love hearing from you. And I'm just so you know, I'm out of inspiration points. So hopefully I meet your expectations and I can get some inspiration points. But I guess you could give it to other people too, if you really wanted to. But that's all I have for you this week. So go check out our Redbubble store and talk to us. I don't know. We like hearing from you.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's it.
for sure.
Yes.
I'm very tired.
I think we also wanted to put it out to our viewers that Mr. Holliver, his square's looking pretty naked over there. Just a little bit. So if anybody at all out there has, an iota of artistic talent, because I don't, send us a drawing. Send us some character art. We want to see your stuff displayed in that square, sitting behind Nick, representing Holliver. I want to see it, please.
And it's probably easy. Looks like me as a gnome, mixed with Indiana Jones, maybe.
Yes.
I like it.
or however you see it.
I'm going to send you what I think Worm actually looks like.
Oh, Lord.
I love it.
After the show. All right. Well, with announcements out of the way, we will dive in. Last time on Down with Dragons, there was a witch campaign. But before that, the group got a long needed rest. They also had some discussions after getting back traveling after leaving the magical kind of mansion room of the Scalebound Guild that they got to rest in. Picked up a chaperone, as it was kind of put to them from Zazazan, the Swiftblade. And you've been traveling and got to back to the arcane laboratory. Or nope, that's coming. The prototypical labs. There, door sealed and conversations had. Some, dealing with some stuff. June and Viet were kind of a little bit at each other, trying to figure out why we're not talking to each other, what's up, why you mad at me, why you mad at everybody. He's not mad at Oliver, that was pointed out. But beyond that, there's beef. There's beef. After that, the group continued traveling, and upon getting back into some of the segment of the city that they had traveled through before, a shadowed stranger, a very old-looking, elven, scholarly figure, who went to introduce himself so politely, got knocked onto his butt, and then quickly stood back up, and also revealing there were some other creatures, children of the night, in the area, basically invited the group to his home to have a nice conversation. And Maven, specifically Maven, was like, laboratories, okay. And
Oliver was in on that too.
Yeah, no, but I mean,
Oliver was not fighting this
afterward.
too badly. Mister, I'm no longer a secret knowledge. Well, that and his multi-level marketing scheme.
Yeah, which a business card was given, and the group kind of reluctantly, warily, panically followed, and we will be picking up during that time as the group is been traveling for 10, 15, 20 minutes or so, and just kind of like, he's not really keeping too close to you. He's doing the, like, a tour guide, like this way, and then is walking, expecting you to follow. Not specifically that way of, and we're walking, but is just kind of, yes, come here, and turns a corner and keeps walking. And so the group is kind of Maven and Oliver in the lead, and Swiftblade and June near the middle, and Maven just turned into a bat and flew off.
It's her gaseous form. She is gone.
Oh, she's all around us. And Viet in the back, not happy.
And the sides and the round and the
like a border collie, just like
exactly, exactly, sheepdog.
As you kind of are traveling down these streets,
is
there anything during this anyone wants to pick up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, reluctance.
Well, June doesn't think this is legit. She's probably read a bit about vampires. She's a little versed in the occult. Yeah. How far is this vampire from us? Like how?
Like he's probably from where you're standing, probably 30, 35 feet ahead.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah.
I'm gonna. Is he paying attention?
I mean, as much as someone who is casually guiding you to his home.
Right. His home. Yeah. I'm gonna okay. Yeah. I'm gonna throw a sacred flame at him again.
Again?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna try.
Persistent.
Okay.
Yeah, June doesn't think that the others are in their right minds.
Probably not.
This bodes well for me. First roll of the night, natural 19.
Ah,
So
It goes
as
wide
all of a
then.
sudden, just like a little bit of his like around his neckline, all of a sudden steams a little bit. He's just like, please, it's fine. It's fine. Calm. We've done this.
no. No. No.
Viet would be looking all around like the buildings,
Roll me a
the,
perception
the
check.
roofs, and Juniper, we are needing to be in a better defensible position. A 19.
19. Every now and then, you haven't been able to like gauge 100%, but every now and then you do see movement on a like building rooftop, or hear something behind you, like almost like cross the street where you just passed, and you don't see anything, but you heard it.
Like gonna have shifted the dynamic Warhammer / God, what's his name again? It's been a couple weeks.
Mjolnir.
The Brannick hammer. The Brannick hammer into like just a spear. A big pointy end on it.
The Bran hammer.
We don't think
I
this
like
is going to be an interesting prospect to follow up on, or
Did you guys not hear the word laboratory?
right?
Yeah, no,
Not
I definitely
laboratory.
heard it.
Not laboratory.
Laboratory.
Dude. Laboratory. You know, when they say it like that, there's good shit in there.
Okay. I would like. I struggle with saying I would like to roll insight on Maven and Oliver.
Try
'cause
to
it
reason
takes
with me.
out
I
of the
dare
game.
you.
Well, no, it just takes me out of the game. But like, I want to roll insight and see if I can tell if she's charmed. Juniper thinks
Her
that these
eyeball,
people are
like
charmed.
swirly eyeballs.
Yeah, like what's going on here?
That's just my
Are
face.
roll me an insight check. You're
We?
passive.
She looked like she's floating when she walks.
I'm
Right,
held by the nostrils by a thing of smell.
That's a good sound 9 with that roll.
Ooh, I have pretty eyes. That's
You know, I'm going to be honest. In the last couple days, you've had a lot of questions about Maven and the way she's every now and then been just in two extremes.
They
of,
all
like-
wonder.
And so you're not sure.
Okay. She'll just kind of shoot a look at Viet and say the word.
Viet's not looking at her, but
And he
It's
wouldn't say it
directed
to
at,
you
like-
anyway.
No. Because he said we have to be in a more defensible position. That would have been an answer to that. Like you just say the word because she trusts him. Whether or not he's mad at her, she trusts him. So she's gonna pull that sword out and just be ready. Not that she knows how to use it anymore.
the
Maven,
swift blade is like pointing it away from his face.
Probably.
Maven, everybody seems really apprehensive. But
I
don't
know. When did we all become so soft? Didn't we like just adventure through another laboratory and kill a clockwork dragon? Listen, you guys, I'm gonna level with you. She's looking around.
Are we still moving as we're doing this?
I don't
At
know.
this point, after being attacked, he has stopped at a corner. He was about to be like, come this way, and then all of a sudden attacked, and he just like kind of looking like
I look over at him. I'm like, all right, one moment. We have to team powwow. Okay. Let's.
Their hearing is very good.
he's not wrong.
Could you plug your ears or something, Count Dracula, please?
He just kind of just steps back a few paces and just
Whatever.
I
Anyway,
am so sick of that attitude.
you can put that attitude back in the toilet where you got it from, Count. Stick it right back in there.
Why are we
Sorry.
being counting?
I think it's a title. For adventurers.
Oh my
Sorry.
Yeah, we're not a broken group, I swear. Normally, well-oiled machine.
Oh, sure, yeah. I must have missed the song.
Sorry, Maven, you were saying?
Yeah. So before my thoughts interrupt, I just imagine Maven was just staring off into space, hearing all of that in her own head.
Yes.
It might have been Sentry, just you know.
Just talking about absolutely nothing. I love that. Okay, guys, listen. Do we have to go with him?
No.
Honestly, probably not. Do we want to go with him? And she's looking at June.
No.
Yes. See, no, I thought you were gonna say yes there, June. Okay. What do
Really
you
bad at
propose?
mind reading.
Well, yeah, it's why I'm a druid, not a warlock. I don't know.
Well,
Magic is difficult, okay? I like nature and rocks and stuff. Anywho, all right, what do you propose instead? What do you want to, what is he going to let us pass with amnesty?
What
Seems
do
pretty
you
chill
we
so far.
wanting? What do you be wanting, Vampire Lord?
I think we need to define terms here and, level with each other. What do you want?
yeah, I'd rather talk here.
I bet he's lonely. She says
Yeah,
out loud.
They'll be kind of shuffling people towards closer to a wall.
Do not flirt with the vampire.
Why? It's fun. He's been-
Okay, hold on.
We're probably the most entertaining thing that he's come across in hundreds of years. No offense to these other guys, but they don't seem like really smooth conversationalists.
We are
They may
probably
have been
very
before.
tasty looking too.
Well, don't I know it?
Yeah, we'll flex a little bit.
Excuse me, sir.
Beefcake, calm down. So standing there as all these things are said in his directions, both about him, to him, and yes, you have been very appealing in flavor. Absolutely. I could smell you for days now. But also, I have seen you have, as you said, gone and dealt with Clockwork Dragon. I am familiar with that adversary, and you came out the other side. Also, the scent of something else very old and powerful, and yet here you are again. I would like conversation. It has been a long time. Most of my others lack any sort of ability anymore. Lost their
feel like
way
that's
in
your
the
fault.
hunger.
I told you he
Oh,
was
no,
lonely.
not as many come down here as you think, so some go crazy from starvation.
Yeah, it seems like one of the worst possible places to create a vampire den. No offense, my guy, but
Not mean offense.
what do y'all do for like sustenance down here? Because I don't know, I haven't really noticed a plethora of food for you.
Rationing is required. Occasionally, the insect creatures come down from times, and in the higher levels, there are more. They don't venture too deep.
Mm.
We get by with what we have to do. And
Yeah, those insect guys are spicy. I don't like them.
indeed, spicy is the right word. But all, as you might say, cards on the table. I do want some of your blood. I will not lie. But it is not as you would immediately would think of, it's more, I'm trying to fix this, as you see, most of my patron down here, they go crazy from starvation. They don't have the longevity. I myself, one day, will likely do the same. I would like to fix this before that happens, but I do want to enjoy immortality.
So you want to
So
be an
every now and
immortal
then-
non-vampire.
I mean, ideally, that would be beneficial.
When he
So-
did that, roar, Viet would have pulled the spear up. Just here it comes.
I look over at June and I say, okay, listen, between you and me, not saying this is like it's a secret, but like between the two of us, we actually might be able to help these people.
Hey, people.
Is that offensive? Sorry, Count.
Oh, most of the children are not people anymore.
Okay.
They are beasts, basically. And I would barely count myself people.
This is how
I
we
don't-
lost cousin Vilnik.
Really?
You got to understand, we have a lot of other concerns. We have an entire mortal world we're worried about saving, and we keep running into people who are trying to strive for immortality and think that their concerns are more pressing than ours. And we don't agree most of the time.
Wait.
So why should we find your predicament so compelling? And why should we trust that you're not going to just do whatever you want anyways?
Yeah,
And
that.
honestly, I probably would have tried already if I was going to. I'm
True.
trying to be reasonable. I don't want to deal with adventurers. Sometimes, some of you have come close once or twice who have come down here, and why, fight when I can just get what I want, give you something you want. Everyone goes their own separate ways.
I have an idea.
Is this guy legit?
I have an idea. Yeah.
Roll
yeah.
insight.
Okay. This is what I'm thinking. I'm not going to say this as Maven. This is what Killian, the person, is
We
thinking.
would be less concerned that you're actually charmed if you stopped arguing this point with him.
No. No, I'm saying this as Killian.
Well,
He could give us stuff to help with the heist. He's a scientist guy with a laboratory. I bet he could get us some safe cracking tools or something. I don't know, something really cool to help us on our journey in exchange for a little bit of blood. I give up my blood. I don't care. You guys don't have to. I've got a lot of it.
The dirty 20 for insight.
I don't.
I'm
Where
not
has no
giving
blood?
my blood away.
I mean, Viet has tons. Let's be honest right now. I'm right now, just during this conversation and the tone it's taking, all I imagine is the Leslie Nielsen, Dracula Dead and Loving, just,
Viet is shifting his spear into a boar spear just to
double that. Yeah. All right.
to keep it from running up the spear. Yes.
Mm.
I'm with you. So now, Dirty 20. So far, everything that he has said, and definitely, especially the part about he has had run-ins with things before that were probably close calls, where it's just like, he's like, for being what little you know about vampires, he does have time. And if you're one of the strong ones who doesn't go crazy from blood and turn into all the monsters you've read about, it's like, yeah, he probably is. That is a concern. And, why fight if you don't have to? But also, you've also read he's a vampire and they're horrible lying,
Right. But I've also read other things that are written from certain
Absolutely.
perspectives that are false. So,
Right. But from what you can tell, he absolutely seems like he is being truthful, or at least believes in everything he is saying.
mhm. What would we possibly? What I don't understand what
I
you
have
get
a
out of this
list of
deal and what we
demands.
get out of this deal.
Well, as I said, blood. I can experiment on because I can smell each of you. You have your own things, and some of you have been dead and back. That is interesting. Never smelled that before.
Mhm.
Might be like all of us, actually. Couple, yeah, at least we've
Well,
all died at
he
least
kind of
once.
points at Oliver and is like, that one more close. And several times, very close.
Recently.
But and points specifically at Viet, Juniper, and Killian, just like, you've been dead.
Mhm. That is correct. We might not taste that good.
I have not worked with anyone who has ever been dead and come back not like me.
Hmm.
Are we not having enough of a dead army problem?
Hmm.
Raven, Corpse Flower, Amanita, Lady of the Deadwood.
Viet, so help these that are undead. They don't have green eyes. They're mad with hunger. But think about it. There's a whole world of people out there that we're trying to save. What is the difference between them and these guys? Besides the deep, dark cave and the blood madness.
These
Hmm.
he will kill more people. Not him, but people like you, things like him. He's not a thing. He is dead.
Not if we cure him.
Undead, to be, specific.
He doesn't want to be a
keep
vampire.
talking. Sorry.
He is predator.
So are
I
we.
am.
Did you see what we did to those dragons?
Maven, Amanita, Dead Flower, Corpse. Why would we help him continue living when we're trying to save people, not turn more monsters on the world?
In my defense, I would appreciate stop with the whole blood craving and all that.
Exactly.
The longevity is what I.
Is he any nicer than your new boss, Maven Corpse Flower?
No, maybe. I just think that if this was anyone else, even another group of vampires on the surface, we would do it. And this is not just because I want to see what is going on in that laboratory. It does play into this. I will absolutely admit it. But I think this could be a mutually beneficial exercise.
Oliver, what are you thinking?
Oh, I think there's a lot of good opportunity opening up right here. And I've recently come into some neat little tricks that probably could help all of us. We could mutually affirming, working together type of relationship. We can reach an accord. He stays down here. He's been staying down here for this entire time. Why should we think that he would have any other
because he's in the middle of desert.
It gets dark in the desert, right?
A little bit of a problem, to be honest. It's
yeah, fair. You could be on the higher levels of these ruins. If you wanted to leave, you could figure out a way to do it.
Right, but this is my home.
Fair. And you have a sick ass laboratory. You guys, I don't think you understand. When someone says the word laboratory, there's good stuff in there. There always is. You know what? I'm gonna put my cards on the table and I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna say, all right, we'll take a vote in a minute. If we help you, could you help us with some tools to steal something of great value from a very powerful being?
Potentially.
No.
Things and can give many gifts.
That's too
technically
vague.
speaking, I could specifically, if you're willing to deal with some of the downsides, turn you into what I am, and then you can do lots of things.
No, I'm okay. Thank you, though. Gonna pass for now. Already kind of been making deals lately. I've made 2 deals in the past couple of days. I think I need to slow my roll a little bit. But let's take a vote. You guys. If we tie, then we'll let the blade guy break the tie.
Why would it be
Yeah, he's just
trusting
standing
him?
there, by the way.
I don't know. He's the fifth one.
He does not get vote.
Okay. Then what do you, I know it's going to be a 50-50 split. Maybe. You know what? Never mind. Let's just figure it out.
I will follow
Favor.
Oliver.
All in favor. Me, Maven, is in favor.
Yet, why would you follow Oliver? Me, I mean.
Because you are willing to fight.
I am, but I'm also hoping for some more leverage for what we need to do in the long run.
I just want to know I'm going to get into that sick ass laboratory. We can negotiate the details afterwards.
Well, you know, the thing about linguistic anthropology is this guy has been alive for a long time, and you don't know what he means by laboratory. Maybe we should clarify that.
It
I'm
has slide
imagining.
pole.
You guys.
I'm sorry, Fia. Did you just say you're not mad at Oliver because he's willing to fight?
I said what I was being saying.
As if the rest of us aren't willing to fight?
Massive shoulders shrugging like, yes.
No. Don't just shrug this off. You look me in the eyes and you tell me.
You said I could not fight him.
You
So did I.
couldn't.
So did I.
Yet you couldn't
So I
fight him
go
and
with Oliver.
survive.
So I
You couldn't
didn't.
fight him and survive. You
And I
think I
did
was going to
anyway.
stand there and let you die?
You did.
I'm willing to fight for you.
You did
I'm
let me
fighting
die.
for you.
I go with Oliver.
Listen, Viet, I don't want you to let your guard down or anything. This is a tenuous situation. There's no way we can absolutely trust anything down here. But we've got tricks up our sleeve. We're ready.
And I will say, Biet, to be fair, the person who ultimately made you stop fighting was me. So, you know, you can be mad at me, but June just wanted to make sure you were okay.
Neither of you thought we could win.
I know we couldn't win, but we will win the next time we face him. We're going to get stronger and we're going to do it again. That's not the last time we're going to do that, but we're going to be more prepared next time with better weapons and a strategy. We're not going in blind. We need a plan to do that. Okay?
I will follow Oliver.
Have it your way. I have voted. Oliver, your turn.
Listen, Viet, I appreciate your consternation, and I need you to be on guard because the second I see you twitch, I'll light up the defenses. Okay? I don't want you to mistrust your instincts because that would be a bad move on my part. But I think there's opportunity here and we can handle this.
So that is a
That's yes.
raise it up. High five. Awesome. All right. 3 against 1. June, let's go. Love you, but come on. Okay, fine. I won't be flippant about it. I will hear you out. You still get a vote, even though it is 3 against 1. It sounded like a no.
It doesn't matter.
That's true. I still value your input. And if we die, you can tell me I told you so.
Let's follow the vampire into his lair. That sounds like the best idea ever.
Right? No, okay. You're right. When you say it like that, June, I never thought
Let's
of it
go.
that way. Okay.
Let's
Well,
go.
well, now you sound like my
Oh,
mom used to do
apparently
that
we're
to
all
me.
just gonna follow Oliver. So let's do that.
Okay, well, I made the choice. I feel like there's a lot of misplaced anger in this group right now.
Oh no,
And-
I know exactly where my anger's placed.
Do we all want
Is
to
it me?
talk or like
It should be me. Like, literally, this is all my fault. Please don't be mad at each other. Please be mad at me. Because, like,
I'm not mad.
I can handle
I'm
that.
hurt.
Well, I'm sorry that you are hurt. We can rebuild. We have the technology. That's not funny. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
We can rebuild. We have the
I'm so sorry.
technology.
I can't say things seriously. Emotions
Yet
are gross.
strong.
Yet very strong. We are all gonna be fine. And I want to go into this laboratory. Now you can come with me, or you can tie me up and throw me over your shoulder because I'm gonna probably go anyway.
I could do
Just
that
go.
if we need to.
I mean, exactly.
Oliver, do we need to do that?
I'm Maven up. No. We need her hands ready and capable.
Yeah, listen, guys. And I will not put you in harm's way on purpose more than I already do on accident most of the time. That didn't help my case, but you know what I mean. I think. I hope.
Doesn't matter. Apparently, this one's just rushing towards death, and that's gonna be that. So
Did you point at Viet when you said that? Okay. Okay, boys. Give us a minute, please.
This is enough talking. If we are doing this, let's do this.
You can give us a minute.
Let's start
just
stalking
let him
off
do whatever he wants.
towards
Uh-huh.
the
There he
And-
goes.
towards the
Enough
vampire
out
lord
of both of you.
with his boar
You-
spear.
Oh, dear God. All right. June. Hey. She puts her hand on June's shoulder.
She's gonna shrugs it off.
That's fine. You can be mad at me. Delicious. Look, everything that's going on right now, there's a lot. This is just my parenting style. This is why you realize why I
You-
never had my
Go,
child
just
with
keep
me.
going. Keep going.
Look, be mad at me. That's okay. Viet is going to, well, he's very stubborn. Honestly, I'm not sure if reason is ever going to get through to him like that.
My hearing is very good too.
Oh my God. Everyone just have supersonic hearing in this party? Good God.
Now they're
Yeah, I'm
talking
glad you can
about
hear me.
If everyone has super hearing, that is what they said.
I'm not mad at you. We can go now.
We're gonna so talk later. You say the word and we will leave. But I do really want to see this laboratory. I
So go.
oh,
see it.
I know we're gonna go. I just
Apparently
Here?
that's the most compelling thing I've ever heard. So let's go.
okay, let's go. I request a parlay in the laboratory.
That part's already been established for him.
Yeah.
And then you
I
can
won't
keep
shut up
attacking
about
him.
it.
So Viet, you're over there. Like, how close do you get to him? Because like he's just standing
I'll
at the
keep
corner.
walking
waiting.
there, and if I get to that point, then I'll just stand 5 feet,
and-
like boar spear will at length away from him.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, just so you have enough where it's just like pointed in his general direction, and he's just like, I understand completely. There's a lot of trust I feel going on in your group that you have mistrust and stranger. I appreciate. You just keep that right here.
Ball it up.
As
Shove it down.
Maven and Oliver and June start walking
And the
to
Swiftblade.
rejoin, and the Swiftblade, he's been standing kind of guard in the middle of this as he starts to pass. There's gonna be just this moment of like just the slightest hesitation, and then he's gonna start walking with the group. And as everyone gets up there, our vampire friend just, are we all good?
That's a relative term right now, but we're ready.
I see. Family issues. I get it. I've been dealing with them for many, many years.
Tell me about it.
So this,
Teens.
Crazy.
this accord we were working out, collecting the blood. You got like a bucket handy or something?
He
How's
just
that
with
work?
his just red eyes, just looks down at you. Many buckets available, but I prefer a little more sterile.
Don't be
Vials.
looking him in the eyes, Oliver.
He's right. I can totally do things to you just by looking. But I gave you my word.
Who says you aren't already?
Oh, I'm not the only one flirting with the
You.
vampire.
Come along. Come on. Come. And he'll start walking down. Now it's a little bit narrower of a street he's turning down. And he'll bring you down. It'll turn again. It's like now turned into like an alley.
It
And
will follow right behind him.
Okay.
At bore spear length. Yes.
perfect. Yep.
At this point,
yeah, no, I get it. No, in for a penny. Gets down to the edge and it turns and you'll see this like just normal, almost doorway arch, but it's all made of brick. And it's like, one moment. And he'll touch brick, and then it'll open up. And he's like, I know this is going to be a thing, but
who was doing
come
your
join me
stonework?
down the deep dark tunnel.
Who was doing your stonework?
I could tell you all about him, but unfortunately, I don't think you'd really care right now for the simple fact of this part, elven made. Dwarven brick, elven enchanted.
That will be doesn't know anything about this, but he's semi. Can I roll an Arcana check
Yeah, absolutely.
to see if he's heard of any collaborations like that? Nope.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's an 8.
Okay, no, that would be like, stop it. No.
That's the craziest thing so far.
Yeah.
You will take a hand off the spear to kind of poke at the brick a little bit.
It's good brick. It's good brick.
Good brick. Can I like pay attention to the order that he pressed them in? I just want to try to remember it.
Absolutely. You don't even need to roll. He didn't even hide it.
I just wanted to make it known that I was.
It is known. You remember what stones were pressed.
Okay.
And he'll just all of a sudden, just a few steps in, just disappear into the darkness. And he'll be like, come.
So you do need to invite us in. I was wondering.
Oh, you are a scholar, but not just beefcake, you hear echoed through.
Is he
I'm
offering
You
us
gonna go
guys
cake?
set
down
the
the
tone
tunnel.
you guys set the tone for flirting. That's not my
Oh yeah.
Is he,
Maven's
Oliver, is he
first-
offering us cake?
Oh yeah.
We should not eat anything that he gives us.
I'm gonna go down the hall.
and you have
Into
you can
the
still
dark.
see it's very dark. Even just any kind of normal like ambient cave like fungus or anything like that's gone in here.
Mhm.
And very quickly, as you like, I assume one by one make your way.
Where? Sorry,
yeah.
before I go down the long dark tunnel, where
That
are
is
the
fair.
other vampires?
Roll me a perception. You
Who do I want to use? That fell out of the thing.
that's what she said.
21.
You've heard them too. You've occasionally caught just the slightest glimpse of movement on a rooftop or down the alley you just came from, like crossing the path. Like beyond, they're around. Everywhere, anywhere, nowhere. And the Swiftblade is in the back of this group, and he's just looking right at you as you're kind of looking around.
Are they gonna follow us?
Are you saying that down the hall towards?
Toward the count.
Oh, likely they will look for small rats and things, but eventually they'll come home.
Comforting. I'll follow down because what else?
And behind you, Swiftblade will follow.
He ate Maven.
Who is Maven? Who? She
Your
found
tricks won't
the
work.
slide pole. She found slide pole. Yeah. So you'll go down this tunnel. It'll start off very like constructed, like for those of you who can see in the dark. For those of you who can't, it's a dark tunnel. You keep going down, and eventually there is a spot where it looks like there's some cave in down here. And things have been kind of propped to hold some of the structure and cave in up. And eventually it'll open up into an area that probably once was part of a city proper, but it is now tight and caved in, and there's just pieces of structure all into this kind of dome. But as you come out, you will see two large statues that are on either side of a stairway going up into a mansion.
What are they statues of?
That is an interesting question.
Very interesting.
They look to be two dwarves.
How tall are the statues?
Statues each are probably about 20 feet tall.
A little taller than you yet.
A little bit.
Just a little, yeah.
Just a little.
You come up to about like, the lower waist, and they're both holding hammers out in front of them. Hammer ground on the ground.
Okay.
Mm.
Does it look like does it look like a tribute to a god, or does it look like just like a guardian type situation?
Roll history.
Sure.
Sure.
9.
I mean, they might have been really important figures. They could have been gods. They could have been just statues of important people. Like, you're not sure. There's no kind of runistic design on them. It's just statues of two dwarves.
Okay.
And then while you're also looking at this, and all of a sudden he just waves, and on top of the actual tops of the handles of the hammers, red firelight sparks up in a few different locations, so it illuminates this area. And you can actually see, it's kind of neat where you get this dwarven architecture and you get that angular shape to all the stone, but then almost somehow this weird contrary like design type where the angular features turn into sloping stone that turns into like woodwork into the mansion, and it starts to give some of that elven quality to the actual mansion. And like where it has these flowing filigree over things, and then an angular double door, and the stairs are very dwarven shorter steps, but then the railings on the side just have this fluid look to them.
So
Scott
does
did
the
a fantastic
architecture-
job filling Killian while you were out as we're admiring the space. He did an excellent job. This is a beautiful
Yes.
space.
That's actually really good. Thank you so much.
Does the architecture look like it's meant to go together, or does it look like it was sort of haphazardly put together?
Roll me
Roll
architecture.
Architecture and interior design check.
Roll me an intelligence check. Let's just go with
Oh.
intelligence.
Oh.
Oh,
Really? My dice are mean.
Is there any context that maybe Oliver could bring up from his research?
Roll a
It's
history
a 5.
check.
I have no idea.
That's it. Like, nah. I mean, that doesn't go together. But how it works, you know?
So,
What'd you roll?
26 on the history.
26. You know, nothing about architecture. You haven't gone over that ancient tome. But some of the writings you have had is like, there is definitely seems to be a tone of like, there isn't any kind of weird classism of like dwarves, elves, things like that. It feels way more writing of like community, and like even the research seems like almost as if you had that area where it's like, this is done by the dwarves, this is done by the elves and all that. And you're familiar with almost that structure of like alphabets and how like language works and all that. But then some of the stuff you're reading is actually almost a weird combination of the languages. So it's maybe suggested that, yeah, this was probably on purpose. Like there seems to be some kind of weird that you're not familiar with. Like they were one community. It didn't matter your race. They took the best of all of your features of the races.
Okay.
So as you're looking around as well with the perceptions and all that, and you're taking in the area, it takes a moment because they're so still. But yes, you do catch like next to one of the statues on its shoulder, you see another one of those Fiero kind of vampires lurking, and hanging on the wall up above the entryway. And like just every now and then you catch the sight of like, if that hadn't been for the fact they moved, you probably wouldn't have seen them right away.
Phil will be messing with his boar spear and just getting more spikes out.
Okay. Fair. I mean, so
Not saying anything
walking.
to anybody, just looking at them and occasionally adding another spike to the a big barbed stick by the time he's done with this here.
So as you have now a Morning Star boar spear.
Amazing.
The vampire lord, will turn around and just see it. He's like, oh, well, welcome to my home. I have given you assurances that I promised no harm will come to you. I give you my word. I will let you know if any hostility was meant to be. I will 100% tell you before anything would happen. But I promised at least a conversation and safe passage. Seeing as I am inviting you into my home, can you give me any assurances, seeing as I have heard many conversations of we'll just deal with them and all of that? What assurance do I have that you are not going to betray and kill me and mine the second I get you into my home and my super cool laboratory?
As much as we have from you.
Fair.
So far, I have not attacked you once and you several times, and I have done nothing.
That is true. I'm not going to do anything. So,
if you got one of those vials or buckets ready, I could, serve up a little portion of blood now.
I appreciate, but I would want you in a safe location before I open any veins.
Oh, we're not safe?
Up. They are starving creatures. I have power over them, yes, but once that happens, I can't promise anything. I know, suspicious.
Well, it seems your assurance of our safety is just as shaky as ours is of yours. Yes?
Yet I have not attacked you.
Yeah. But, vampire, you get it, right?
I have no idea what you mean. How many vampires do you know?
Oh, I've read about a lot.
Oh, stereotypical. Not all true.
Well, that may be, but you can count on at least some of the scribes to get something right. Broken
Of course,
clock,
the
right?
worst of us, which is why they're hunted down and destroyed. I agree.
Okay. So we're working to build a better image for vampires in general on top of this, right?
I mean,
Sounds good.
sure, I don't care. I want to be done with that part. to be
Oh,
honest.
yes. Okay. I don't know what else to offer.
I don't know. You want one of my shoes? We used to do that during training when we had to go to the bathroom. So we'd come back. I don't know.
He'll gently, like, because he's got a very spiky morning star definitely pointed in his direction. He will very slowly and obviously like reach his hand into his robes and then pull out a vial. Can any of you discern what potions do? Are you at least schooled enough in that to be able to figure that out? Because I assume if I just tell you what it does, you won't actually believe me.
I want to say yes, but I don't think I can do that anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Let me look.
Viet
He
is
looks
just
at
shaking
you,
his
Viet.
head.
He's like, take my word for it.
Hold out his hand.
He'll hold it out to you. It is a potion of truth. You will not be able to speak a lie for the next hour.
I don't.
If
Well,
you
Viet
give me
can't
your
lie
word-
anyway. He's not gonna give that to
No
me either.
offense. I also don't believe you.
Okay.
What color is that potion?
It is kind of brownish, like a swirl of like yellow brown in it.
Who are you wanting to drink this?
Oh, whoever, I suppose. Honestly, I feel like if you gave me your word and meant it, you might stop the others from getting too crazy, seeing as you give your word. Dwarves have always been truthful.
Is it a cork or something? Can you flip the cork
Yeah.
one-handed?
Yeah,
Drink it
absolutely. It's
down.
not that big, especially in your hand.
He'll flip the cork
Really
and he'll
just-
drink it down.
Drink that.
Okay. Drink it down.
Fine.
You really don't feel anything. But I am telling you, Chris, Viet is literally unable to lie for the next 1 hour.
I would have to
Is
think
there
how
a
that might
question-
mechanically change anything I'm doing, but
Yeah, I know. I get it. If I could just get this to focus, that would be great. He'll kind of look to the rest of the group and just be like, I sense a lot of distrust or trauma or whatever. Is there anything that he might lie to you about that you'd like to know? Or is he the loose cannon of truth that dwarves typically are?
this is enough. If you do not kill us, we will not be killing you. And if you help us get out, we will not be killing you.
Do I have your word that if your friends move against me, you will defend me as long
Yes.
as I do not
As
attack
best
them?
I can.
Fair. Come. He'll turn and start walking in and move the door open a little bit more, because right now it's very just slitted enough for one normal person to go through. And he kind of looks at you, Viet, and is like, a little more open. And
Yeah, Viet would reach a hand out and give him a little help.
Yeah.
At this point.
All right. You may may enter into this mansion. Viet, I'm assuming you're right behind him, kind of at the ready, but at the same time. Okay. Anybody else?
Well, I'm ready to go in the house. What? Laboratory?
Slide
Hey.
pole.
It's my dream.
Hey, Viet, what was your
Oliver.
favorite thing to do as a child?
Make teas with my stepfather.
Oh, you got a stepfather. That's nice.
He was
Hmm,
good, Dorf.
okay.
Wait, Viet,
story.
what's your favorite color?
He just shrugs.
Not blue.
Viet, Viet, are we best friends?
No,
Can we be best friends?
no,
Ever?
not likely.
Mhm. Enemies?
Which woman said our fates were tied? She did not say much. How?
Oh no.
Maven Cave Floor,
Oh no.
Amanita, Lady of Thorns.
Mm. Well, I will do my best to win back your love, my prince. And with that, I go into the building.
Oliver, June.
Viet, when's the last time you remember being happy?
When I thought Quincy was alive.
Hmm. I'm sure. I know we're going through a lot of trials and tribulations, but could you ever imagine yourself that happy again?
Not right now.
Well, I hope to change your outlook.
We have a lot of fingers to collect before then, Oliver.
You got it, buddy.
Oliver going in.
Yes.
I'm gonna win him
June?
back. You just watch me.
Yeah, she'll just kind of check one more time for those creepers and then yeah, go in.
We should stay close to each other though. That's the one thing we should do.
And she didn't hesitate for very long, just
Okay.
muttering under her breath, this is the worst idea ever.
That will be,
Fair.
I've had worse.
if the Swift Blade is paying attention, he will see Viet contemplate closing the door on him again. But then he'll hesitate and let the Swift Blade follow through if he wants.
Yeah, you hesitate and he stands there until you kind of move. And then he steps in and pulls the door shut behind him.
Is there a bar?
Doesn't seem to be. But they are heavier doors, but
All right.
all right, so you are inside. So immediately as you come in, the first little area is kind of like a nice little entry sitting, just inside the door. Two very old couches are neck on each side of it. Old, very well made, but doesn't look like, people care for it, dust it, much of any of that. It's a long kind of multi faceted set of rooms down this hallway, and then there's hallways branching off after each segment. The vampire stands in the middle and kind of directs you, like, I really don't have refreshments for you. I'm being a bad host, but I would be happy to take you to a sitting area and we can, I suppose, get down to it, and I can seal us into that room. And then we can start the collection.
So you mentioned a slidey pole.
I did mention that, yes.
Is that where we're going?
I mean, what kind of host would I be if I didn't show you the slidey pole?
Okay, I'm on my way. Let's go. I'm so excited. You guys have no idea. Well, you do. It's very evident.
So as you're walking further down the hall, near the end of the actual hall, you will see he kind of stops and points out like there's rubble in that room. There's like a little bit of a cave in. It ends in kind of a dead end of that hall, but that's like its own little segment of a room as well. And there he kind of points out the slidey pole going down to the deeper areas. Luckily, and he looks at Viet, it is not necessary to use. We can do everything here. Your friend will not fit.
Don't ruin this for me. I'm just kidding. That's fine. I guess we could do it in here. I'll do it later.
It's fine.
How many times are you going to be here? Come on.
Exactly. I'm gonna do it like I'm gonna climb back up the slidey pole just to slide back down again. Like this is gonna be a lot. I'll be there for a while.
That's fair. That is very fair. Okay. So he brings you in, turns a corner, you up a little bit of a stairs up onto an uprise, and then it is a very thick, reinforced door. And he kind of waves his hand in front of it, and you hear a click, and the door swings open. Inside, it looks like a really nice, once used personal study with like sitting couches and chairs, with a fireplace with all kinds of books going across the top, a really old rug that is slowly getting just deteriorating from lack of use, age, everything. Big mirror on the side of the room, and a large kind of bench that has note scrolls and some different potions and things, like a arcane version of like a Bunsen burner, things like that. And wow, you just fill up that room, Viet.
I am still a medium creature.
Wait, is it cramped in there?
Under 8 feet tall is still a medium creature, technically.
I know, but for just the representation for me tracking things, you're a big
How
boy.
high are these ceilings? Because isn't standard 8 feet?
But this is a mansion. They are vaulted
True.
ceilings.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah.
So there's one space in the middle of the room he can stand in.
You got to duck under the chandeliers, though. All right. So everyone makes their way in, and you see, as everyone, he kind of gestures to chairs and all that. Viet, he kind of gestures if you want to take one of the couches, and he'll like, if nobody minds, I am going to lock the doors.
Is there a way for us to get out without your assistance?
I mean, I'm certain if you really tried, you could.
Viet quietly flexes on the side again.
Oh my god. Enough out of you, beefcake.
All right. And he just waves his hand, and you hear clock from the two doors in this room. That way, if any of them catch a scent, they won't be able to get in anyway until they can regain their control. Little there is. He'll gesture towards the fireplace, and it'll light with actual fire and illuminate this room a little bit better. He goes over and starts grabbing a few of his implements and tools, and comes back over, and he has like some vials, some tubes, and a needle. And he's like, who's going first?
Okay, but before I give you my blood, I'd like to talk about heisting tools.
Right. You're so specific. You're thieves, not adventurers.
Well, we're
Okay.
not thieves, I guess, but we're tasked with being thieves. We're gonna steal from a dragon.
Oh, can I take extra blood? Because I'll never see any of you again.
I am a
I'm
double
not
donor.
joking. You're all doomed.
That's why I was hoping you'd help.
Oh, I know lots of things. Nothing in so much of the form of like tangible things that I could just take in their presence. I can give you knowledge. I can give you power. Beyond that, I'm sorry, the few little trinkets I have, I keep for myself.
Now hold on a minute here.
Knowledge is true power.
No, it isn't. Well, it might be actually. What do you know about dragons? Give me a tidbit of information and I'll fill up a vial for you. And then we can talk more.
Roll persuasion check.
Okay. The way I'm gonna bargain it is one vial for one vial for like a complete set of information. Persuasion. That's an 8.
Again, just a
How
reminder,
about-
everybody, Maven is the face of our group at this point.
Y'all chose that, and that is not my
We-
fault.
Did we? Is that
Well, I
what we
might
did?
have chosen it for you. I do like to
Uh,
talk.
Just going by straight charisma is what was what that determination was.
Mhm,
He
mhm.
kind of as you say that, he's like, all right, how about a vial first so I can see if it's even of true usefulness to me.
Oh
for
my
a piece of
god.
information after.
Fine. God. You're lucky I'm
Yeah,
a
well,
double red donor for the Red
I will be
Cross.
going first, Maven, Corpse Flower, Amanita, Dead Flower, Lady of Thorns. You'll hold out his
You
blue
had
arm.
so many names.
Well, and I thought we weren't friends.
He'll hold out his blue arm.
That Viet. Is it dangerous if you touch that?
Only if I
I'm
light it on
asking as a
fire.
player.
Only if I light it on fire, Maven, Corpse Flower, Amanita, Dead Flower, Lady of Thorns.
Okay. I was sincerely worried for your safety there, Count. What's your name anyway? Did we even ask?
Oh no, you have been very rude.
Yeah.
He'll walk over to Viet and kind of just as he's kind of prepping, he's actually using like alcohol on your arm and very professional. My name is Tarneus. Tarneus Florenor. Obviously, you've never heard of me. It's okay. I keep to myself.
Wait. Has Holliver heard of him?
Yeah, is that true? Has no one
Roll
ever
me a
heard of
history
him?
check.
I was gonna say, have I ever come across his name either?
Sure,
19.
roll me history. 19.
Who do I want to use? Which dice? So many choices. God, 8.
I would like to roll an Arcana check just to see if this is anything that Quincy might have talked about. This Tarneus.
Sure.
Can I make the what in Tarnatus joke yet?
That'd be a dirty 20.
30, 20. Okay. So 8, 20, and an 8. Okay. No one's ever heard of him. Like, not even like you might like in any of the books, like however you've looked at, nothing with the initials like TF even, just like maybe,
My mother was naming me Viet.
Lovely. And I'll be honest, the blue arm was the one that caught my eye, and he'll start to get working. The weird thing is like, as you guys are thinking and trying to be like, have I ever heard that name? Like, as you look up, you catch sight of him and this giant, large arm, and he's getting ready and hooking up a
Do
needle
you want
into
me to be
his arm
setting
with
it
a
on
tube.
fire?
No.
If you'd like to, I mean,
No.
it doesn't
No.
bother me.
Will that help?
Not really.
Then I will not be doing it.
I appreciate. You'll see past him in the large mirror against the wall that is the entire thing of just like the floating like, vial. And, like,
Do you mind, Tarneus? Can you instruct me and let me maybe do the procedure? I think I can get a little more comfort and trust out of my friend Viet here, if you'll allow me to do that. And honestly, I'd like his help when it's my turn.
Roll me a persuasion check.
My fingers are very large right now, Oliver.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll do just
I
fine.
do-
You'll see.
I don't think you want
That's
his
a-
help.
That's a 9.
Yeah, and just kind of like at the beat of that, he's like, this is a process that I have spent many, many years perfecting. Trust me, you won't feel a thing. And
Why was that menacing?
as he's doing this and saying this, like you look and Viet, you've already got like half of a vial filled.
Hmm.
And after a brief time, he will finish up, pull the needle, set it off to the sides, cork the vial, and kind of give you a bandage, be like, just hold onto your arm, you'll be fine. And walk and go set it over onto his like little bench, and he'll light a magical fire, set it on top, and just kind of watch it a little bit. He's like, all right, so what question specifically you want thieving things, or
Hey,
was
well,
that was very vague.
I have a question first about you. Just like I'm just into this whole vibe that you've got going on, and I'm just so curious. So you're the only relatively sane one of
More or
your
less.
group. Yeah. Okay. How did you develop the technique that you're doing right now? Like, what are you doing right now with the blood? You're looking at it over a fire, but why? Why?
Arcane fire.
Okay. Arcane fire. Druid. I don't know anything about that.
I am trying to reveal just if there's any unique qualities about the blood. That is all.
Oh, that's
Right
cool.
now, this is a basic, just probing question as you're probing me with yours.
No, that's cool. I was genuinely curious the way you were doing. I wasn't being judgmental.
It's all right.
Yeah. How'd you come up with this? How long have you been doing this?
Oh, hundreds of years.
And what do you do it? Is it just like a blood store, late night snack kind of deal, or like?
Oh, I experiment on the blood until, unfortunately, it's no longer usable.
What do you do for? What are you experimenting? What are you trying to do?
Remove the vampiric nature.
Oh, I might be able to help you with that.
Not likely if you think you can get rid of a mere curse, mere disease, things of that nature. I've
No,
been doing this a little bit.
I know someone that can help you.
Oh, who do you think you know?
I look over at Oliver and I just kind of raise my eyebrows. And I give him a look.
Oh yeah, she knows people.
Mm-hmm. Tell me what you know about Sentry.
Super. Viet, Juniper, you all heard the name?
Oh shit, sorry.
Viet's already heard the name. Way to
What?
steal my
That's true.
thunder. I was going to pop that out at another time.
Oh. So
Sorry, June.
you just see like this little twitch as you say it, and you hear inside of you, like in your own head, you just hear it's like, there it is. Tell a friend to a friend. Never fails. And then you see him go into his pocket and pull out that note, business card, greeting card, whatever, and look at it again. You two do not play fair.
I know he could help you.
I don't know what you mean.
No.
He can't help you.
Who's next? I am not for sale that way.
I wasn't trying to sell you.
That I know. You sold yourself.
Okay,
You're right.
okay. It's good. So I know I look like a small fry, but you're gonna need a bigger vial or a lot more.
You a hemophiliac or what?
Here's the deal. You said something about power that could help us out? Is that just turning us into a vampire like yourself, or is there other options you're talking about?
There is knowledge I can give, but vampirism is unfortunately a quick way to grant some of those quiet, sneaking things and transferable, transmutable options. It's quick, dirty, and apparently right up your group's alley.
We're going to circle back to the whole not for sale thing. I'm going to let this play out for a little bit.
He is like
I'm
undying,
excited.
the undying knights, yes?
Oh, do you? Yes. Ooh.
He looks over at you very interestedly, Viet. Unending guard, I assume you are referring.
Yes,
yeah.
that is being named.
Judging by your reaction, you might have some more knowledge about them.
I do.
Okay. So what do we want to know?
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about my real question. Pass.
Who's next?
As much as you can tell us about the what is it? Unending guard?
Unending guard.
Unending guard. I'll make it worth your while. And like I said, you might need bigger vials.
Why?
Because I use polymorph on myself and turn into a giant ape.
Okay.
Oh, that's so cool.
I think I'm taller than Viet now.
Oh yes, this is beautiful.
Yeah, that shrinks the room a little bit.
But I can't talk, so
no
Elbow
you
in
can't,
my gut, Hulliver.
so I have to pantomime and just say, like, stick it in my
no,
neck.
you have
and
the intelligence of an ape too, I believe. Only
milk me like a
druids hang
camel.
on to it. Yeah, you definitely are trying to like kiki your way into communicating, but he just looks at you and he's like, who's next who's not outright using magical means to change the actual essence of their blood temporarily?
Me, pick me, pick me, pick me.
Ow! Push the arm down again.
Yeah, he'll kind of, he's like, just kind of, yeah, his demeanor has changed a little bit, and he'll come over towards you, Killian, and be like, are you ready?
Well, so I have a question for you. What did you mean about being for sale? I understand that I made a deal, but how do you view it?
I view it as, first off, forcing a bond onto me that I did not want. And you know full well what you did. You're still buying power for power.
Kind of.
And second, I feel all of you likely know. And he kind of almost gestures at himself. Nothing comes free. And you are continuing to do as you do, which that's fine. But now I am an anchor. So I would like to conclude this little arrangement as quickly as possible.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. I get that. Listen, I think...
Because again, you have attacked me now in my own home.
I didn't realize that was considered an attack. I do apologize for my ineptitude. I genuinely did think that that is something that could get rid of your vampirism. Although when you put it like that, I guess it would just be switching one affliction for another.
And I have spent a millennia being afflicted.
I hear you. And again, I apologize. I didn't think that one through the whole way.
I know,
I'm so
and
sorry.
your friends now bear that burden with you.
Yeah.
You are a well-established family, I feel. All of
At
the
least-
scars to go with it. So, are we ready?
yeah, go for it.
Roll up your sleeve. He'll
Mhm.
start to go about.
Go ahead, take 2. I owe you.
One is the arrangement. I hold my bonds.
I know, but I'm giving you 2 for more information later on.
You'll pass out.
Yeah, probably.
Viet and the Gray Ape are probably just going to jockeying first.
Arm wrestle. Just
While I'm giant, I want to look around at the top of things and see if there's anything interesting.
We still
Just
haven't
the
asked
top
him
of the-
anything, really.
He's not
He's
giving us
answered.
any information.
It's very
Well,
dusty.
we
I'll give
haven't-
you all the information you've asked.
Yeah, we
All
haven't
right,
asked him
so
anything.
he'll finish and get done. He'll go over and he'll remove Viet's and then switch, and he'll swirl around one and kind of get out the next, cleaning things and all that. And only a few minutes has passed, so you are good to maintain that form. However, here it's not.
As he's pushing against Oliver, maybe someone could be telling me what this sensory is.
This what?
This sensory. It was the old man who was waiting for me when Oliver was bringing me. He said he would do something for me. I don't know this sensory. Why was he the first person I saw when you drugged me back?
He helped us bring you back. Yeah.
Who is he?
You spoke to him?
He spoke to me.
May we stop saying his name over
Sorry.
and over?
Yep.
Whose
Yep.
name?
The C word. An apt nickname.
I am not knowing who this is. I only saw him the one time.
I'll tell you more when June's out of earshot. I've already done enough.
It's too late now.
Well, not really. You just know his name. You don't know anything else. That's
Why are you
Best.
knowing his name? And you kind of push the ape.
You see this cool belt? You see this awesome belt that I have? It's
Yes,
the
I'm
coolest
seeing
thing.
belt. It looks like belt.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so and Maven.
Why
will
are
go
you knowing, and
through-
why did June not know?
Because June
now-
didn't touch the
so-
belt.
So, what? Sorry, can I get the name again? Taloran?
Tarneus.
Tarneus. Thank you. And why is Tarneus mad about this name? I'm not
Because-
understanding.
He'll-
I can.
Oh, sorry.
No, you go. I'm sure you can.
He'll
explain
just
it
hold
better
up
than
a
I can.
hand as you start to like stammer. Viet. I believe I caught correctly.
Yes, my mother was naming me Viet.
Right. You are you familiar with witch and warlock deals, patrons and their servants?
No, we stayed away from those things.
Correct. In the way, you have the beginning of a deal already in your head because you found out a name. All you have to do is be in a moment of need and call his name, and you will start the process that was already given to you. Sell
So-
your soul for power. You need to fight those dragons, right? As you said. This is a way. All you must do is put down that soul of yours, or whatever the deal is.
Do you know what's going on with mortal souls right now?
I've been a little preoccupied only trying to regain mindfully.
Fair. I'm going to tell you something. Right now, mortal souls are not going on to the great blue yonder. They're getting eaten by the dragons. So, what is it you're trying to restore and only in order to lose it again?
Fair.
I was
He's
just
trying
there.
to do it, but not dying. If he's not dying, then his soul is not going to the place. Maybe
You can die.
to dead flower.
You can die.
Okay. kind of pointing at both of you, like you're both right and wrong.
I was
Oliver,
just in
please, I'm
Helheim.
trying to talk.
I was just there. Hordes and hordes of lost souls, waiting to be scooped up by a pantheon of giant spectral beasts.
That is where you met this. He looks at Tarneas. This old gentleman, not
No.
you, sir.
I knew him before he helped me get out, I think.
Well, so why is June not knowing this then? Where
Because
was
June
I?
didn't make a
Didn't
deal.
want
She's
to.
smarter than me and didn't make a deal.
Why?
And I did it because I was greedy and I wanted a way to win against our biggest enemies.
Why was
and
he
I made a
bothering with
mistake.
me? I didn't know anything about this person.
We made the deal for you.
Who's we? Juniper didn't know anything about it.
Oliver and I brought you back with his help. We didn't know that he would talk to you. He gave
How
us
did-
the little push we needed to bring you back.
How did Oliver found out about this person?
I told him.
Oh, so you told him, but you didn't tell June? Until
June
now,
didn't
you
want
just
to
told.
know.
He's just going to like, I feel like this could go on for a while. May I begin on who's next?
I really feel bad for this vampire right now. I don't know that I would ever
Hey.
do that.
He
By the way,
invited us
I
in.
still
He invited us in. He should know better.
Can
He
you
will learn his
all
lesson
go
next time.
True. The Fangtastic mistake was his.
Totally. If anything, this is assuring us that he will let us go because he does not want us as part of his family.
That's so
I
true.
wouldn't want to eat you.
Does he have any house plants I can eat while I'm giant?
God forbid you by accident turn. Everything seems to be like not really kept up real well on watering of any kind. There's like a vase where a plant might have been,
So
but now.
Giant Ape is
1500
looking a
years
little
ago.
hungry. Viet will hold a cracker out.
It's like microscopic.
Hold on, I am having jerky too.
Careful, Oliver. He might eat you.
He'll come over to you, June, as just for this. Like, would you accept if he's like holding everything and be like,
No. No. I don't want to give you my blood.
I told you, take 2 from me.
All right, I'll ungiant ape myself and offer.
do you want to try to hold on to it?
You only get one cracker, Oliver.
I'll let you, because this is like there's concentration involved in it, and there is the
Yeah.
risk of, but roll me like a caster check.
What does that mean?
Basically you're like a spell attack.
Okay. All right, let's do that. 18.
18. Okay. So, and what's your spell DC?
15.
Like 15. Okay.
Mhm.
Yep. So you all of a sudden just come back, and it's really uncomfortable. This, like, when you have transformed, I mean, it is magical. This feels like you are actually holding a muscle of like compacted density down back into your size. Like you are holding on to something because that magic wants you to be big right now, and you're not letting go of the spell. So you're just kind of like tensing every muscle, holding your normal form. It's kind of a weird feeling.
I'm like squishing a balloon, and the balloon is me.
Yeah.
Okay.
He'll
It's
just
another
kind of nod
3 miles
at
until the next
Juniper.
rest stop, Oliver.
Right? Like, I kind of feel bad for you now, but
At least these crackers are a little more bigger at the moment.
So he'll yeah, they're reasonable sized crackers now. So he'll come
And
over
jerky.
to you and
And jerky.
start working on you, seeing as you are now at least you.
Hmm.
And like before, you barely feel it. I mean, you feel
Okay.
the armband more that he ties into place, and you may all continue talking, dealing with this.
Again, I will explain so much. I'll tell you anything you want. Just not right now. Okay? We need to respect. And again, June, I'm so sorry. We need to respect that these people do not want to hear about it. Okay?
So Juniper
And
did
I
not want to
should-
be helping me.
No, that's not what happened. She wanted to help you, but she didn't know that that was an opportunity the same way that Oliver and I did. She tried to help you with all of her might. You should have seen her, yet it was hard to watch. That's why I felt that we had to, because it wasn't going to be enough. So we had
We'll
to.
finish up with Oliver and take the vial.
Yeah, it was an easy decision for me because I've been spending all my life digging up old relics and lore, and that isn't giving me the tools I need to face the dragons. I just saw that what this guy was offering was a little more pop for what we needed.
Exactly.
Well, I appreciate it, Oliver.
Eh,
And I
you
appreciate
gotta-
you fighting with me.
Right. And you too, I mean, you're a great guy, but we need you too.
Mhm.
And I didn't have any way to help you.
Thank you.
You weren't going to come back otherwise.
I knew that taking the thing.
I know. Can't get away from me yet.
Our fates are twined.
Whether you like it or not.
Corpse flower, Amanita, dead flower, lady of thorns.
Hmm.
You and me and the fool.
God's help us.
Tarneus,
I,
are you having anything that will be helping us?
What do you know about the dragons, Tarneus? Specifically, I don't remember the name as a player, the name of the one that we're going to steal from. Thank you. I'm so sorry. I
I'm
just
stuck on
didn't know.
Electroveldon and Zazuzan right now. It's
That's okay. Those are the best
Tarneus?
names.
Yeah,
Fair.
Tyrannus Corvus. Is that who it was?
it sounds right for Fernus Corvus. Yep,
Yeah,
there it is.
Tyrannus Corvus.
Sorry that for a second I thought that was Aunt Hannibal, but it's not. It's
I
Sorry.
have three different notebooks sitting in front of me with notes in every single one of them. So
Fair.
all right. So yes, Fernus Corvus. So what roll me a persuasion check again. And who's asking specifically?
Viet asked if he had anything that would help.
Okay, you roll me with advantage.
Me?
Yeah.
Persuasion?
Yep.
I think that's it.
I get it.
I mean,
but
I am the
it's-
second highest charisma member of the group here.
And you're probably going to roll better than I did anyway, so go for it.
If I roll on the table, maybe. That would be a 2 and a natural 20 with a +0 is a 20. Natural 20.
Thank God for it.
Nice.
I got 8s
done.
both times I rolled, so I'm very glad you did it.
Just curious. He kind of, you see him pause and just specifically these names of dragons. I'm sorry, I don't know, but dragons themselves, most of the ones I ever had the misfortune of dealing with were more mindless and ravaging the countryside and things of that nature. We dealt with them as you would any ravenous beast.
Do you have any
You
fingers
slayed them.
left over?
No dragon bone fingers, unfortunately. It would be possible dragon blood would be useful, actually. But that's neither here nor there. We had them more as a scourge. It was a infestation that we dealt with. There are things I can do. And he'll walk over to one of the, like, near one of the locked doors, not the one you came in, to the side of it. And you'll see next to the door, one of the stones, he'll just pivot and turn and take out a small little box. Open it up. And it's just a roll, like little small rolled up scroll. And he'll hold it out to you.
To me?
Yep.
Phil,
This is a recipe or instructions on how to make a specific weave of metal. It's called a blood weave. A very long time ago, a dwarf showed me how. That will allow you to make weapons that will help you, though they will be tied to you, and there is always a cost if you push the metal too far.
Is this saying what the cost is being?
Everything is there.
We are thanking you then. Do you need a copy?
It's all up here. I'm not much of a blacksmith anyway. I could never make it even if I wanted. You, by the way, hopefully one of you are, or at least know, a master blacksmith, or is that another lacking in this little dysfunctional family?
We do know a ghost blacksmith, so
Oh, most excellent.
yeah. So that'll be interesting. I don't really want to go back there though. That was scary. Boo. You know? Oof.
He will then once again kind of
Phil
look
will
over
put
at Juniper.
the scroll and think, I am having books from my friend Dr. Lundra. I am not knowing if that would be helping you at all.
Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
Take one of the books out, like take his backpack off and take one of the books out and show Tanarneas.
Yeah, he'll look at it and just slowly, long nail, kind of paging and
I
scanning.
am having 5 of them, if that would be helpful.
Books, you never know.
She was
First
she
edition.
and she also was in a kind of state like yours where she could not die either.
I will say, Maven, you know that is 100% not the case. But but looking at her, it'd be like, that's fair. That's fair. She is old as crap.
I mean,
know?
she could die, but she kept coming back.
Right.
So-
And during he like looking at one of the books you offer, he's actually like, if you are offering this would take, honestly, substitution of 1 vial.
Are you a
All
good
5?
but are you a good person?
Roll another persuasion check. Ugh.
That would be a 10.
Yeah, I rolled bad. You see him genuinely look disarmed by that question yet. I think I might have been once, but that was a very long time ago. I am not
Yeah,
that
well-
man anymore.
Bill reaches out and put his hand on the tapped book. The person who wrote this was a good person. She was caught in a bad place and made bad choices, but she kept trying.
The irony of Viet saying those words.
Oh my God, why am I rolling horrible right now? I rolled a 1. You will see like one blood tear go
Aw.
down, and it's just like, thank you. And just kind of, and if you're offering, he'll take the book. Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
Viet, your idea to copy the recipe, that's a good idea. Do you mind if I write that down multiple times so we don't lose it?
Viet will look at Ternius as though asking him if it's okay.
It is yours to do with, but not now. If everything is done, he'll look at Juniper one last time. Your friend has made an offering in your stead, but I'll be honest, out of all of them, you do smell the most interesting.
That's not any more comforting. That's like less comforting than you think it sounds.
I 100% understand, but I have to ask.
Fine. She'll hold her arm out.
Yep. So he'll just kind of nod and walk over and grab the, everything and start to, clean your arm and start to take a sample. It's a kind of an awkward moment, I guess.
Yeah,
No
she's
one's
really
saying
detached. She's not sorry.
Yeah, no, and even
Yeah.
he's like,
Viet would be keeping an eye on the swift blade at this point.
roll me in either perception or insight, depending on.
Okay,
what
I need to cast guidance on Viet because he's making a lot of rolls.
Which one are you doing
Can
for?
you
Are you trying to
I
get in,
Viet,
like perceive what his emotional state, or are you
he's just
mostly
watching
him?
if he's going to make a move against the dude here.
Okay.
Yes. It would be a 6 plus an 8 is a 14, and I get a guidance for 1d4.
Yep.
Does the Swift Blade have
plus 1.
blood?
So that would be a total of 15 per perception check.
15.
Just watching him.
He
being
doesn't
ready.
move.
Yep.
He's still, but you do catch the slightest bit of, like, you see his gloved hand on his sword just squeezing, like he's probably wants to react because he doesn't like, just in general, what's happening. Probably something, you're not sure the greater intent of it.
Can I bonus action just smell what this room smells like?
Absolutely. And I'm going with that roll.
As I'm perceiving the world around me.
Yeah. Dust, decay. Definitely there's refuse somewhere in the area at some point.
Awful.
But like, yeah, it's not good. It's a tomb. Stale air.
And plenty of those. So yes.
And even the wood that's burning is like old, not,
old growth. Yeah.
He
Ternius.
finishes, Juniper. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What can you tell us about? I guess maybe I'm just asking for myself. Passing through somewhere undetected. You got any pointers?
Don't go.
If I had the choice, I wouldn't.
Invisibility, obviously, magics help pass with less of a footprint, but unless you are willing to compromise who you are, very little thing will escape, especially dragons. You'll have to be very creative.
Well,
Or know specifically the blueprints of their lair. Once you are attuned to their lair, you can pass and come and go.
Tarneus, are you having ways of identifying things that are of magical nature?
I have dabbled over a few millennia of free time.
Yet will pull the medallion that Zazozan gave out of his pocket. Hold that out.
Yeah.
Is this being trapped?
Kind of, he'll grab it from you and kind of walk it over to his bench, and he'll spend about 10 minutes kind of doing things, and at the end of it he'll be like, huh, it's been a while. This is more the opposite of trapped. It's a black hole for anyone who's trying to track you. It's guards you from it.
Can anyone, if the person who gave it to us, can he follow it?
I doubt he could if you were actually wearing this and properly tuned magically to it.
Thank you, Tharnius.
Of course.
Do you have any teal horned dragon roach shell powder?
No. Nope. Say no. I don't care if you have it. Say no.
I don't
I'm-
even know what that
I'm
is,
not
to
bringing
be
you back
honest.
from the dead a second time, but yet I swear to God. God, I swear to God fingers. Young man, I will
Many
turn this party
vows
around.
being given. So this, I'll be on this, as pleasurable as you all are. I'd like to finish this.
I do
and-
have one more question.
All right, I have one more vial.
I'll give you another one.
I have one of you.
You got all of us.
And he just looks over at the Swiftblade.
I don't even think that dude has blood.
Well, if you're
Oh,
taking,
yes, he does.
if you're
He's
taking,
alive like you.
He's not with us. I mean, he is, but he's not. He's our babysitter.
Oliver, what were you going to say? Sorry, we both inter-
if you're taking books in exchange, I do have a very interesting book that you probably like.
Is it?
It's Swanky Dangles and the Star Siren. It's part of a series. It's quite interesting. And if you got all this time on your hands,
Roll me a persuasion check.
It is a page turner.
Okay.
And let's be honest, he hasn't had a lot of new reading material, and it's a trashy novel. It's like there might be a guilty pleasure in him where it's just like, I could never. Ooh,
So
Is that being the swanky?
before I offered that, I
Word
took
traveled
guidance
even
on
down
myself,
here.
let's say. So I got a natural 20, which is an 18, but with guidance, it turns into a 21.
Okay. So I rolled a 2 for just a fact of all right, how refined is his taste? Would this be a weird guilty pleasure? It is. And so you hold that out, and he's like, I mean, of course, books and knowledge are good. And he kind of looks at it and starts to look over the back.
That cover
Yeah.
just it gets you.
Just
draws
looks at
you
it,
right
he's just
in.
like, and you see just a momentary expression come over his face, and then he just turns, and this will probably be acceptable for now. And he'll put it on the bookshelf above the fireplace.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm down one book.
So,
Oliver's
Yep,
down one
and
of his
so-
many books that he apparently
Yeah.
has. The Encyclopedia Swanky.
Oh my God.
So,
what?
did you get your question asked, or are we?
I haven't asked it yet.
Okay.
I'm going to do something really stupid. I'm just going to preface what I'm about to say with I'm doing something stupid.
That's been
And
this
you-
whole episode. So
Do
You're
we wanna,
absolutely correct.
Fantastic mistake.
Yeah, actually.
okay.
Since we're in the spirit of,
Stupid away.
yeah, if we are in the spirit of doing whatever is necessary to meet our goals, I was wondering if you would grant me the pleasure. Ew, I don't want to say it like that. The honor, there we go, of receiving your vampiric gifts.
Oh no, she doesn't know what she's saying.
I do.
What? No.
I would. I have to roll for this.
Maven, no.
He just looks at you and just. I would not choose this for myself. You
I know.
understand?
I'm not doing this for me.
I understand. I understand the deals you are already making, and as your friend once pointed out, following us here in for a penny, in for a pound.
Or 10.
This will take time.
Viet will
Then-
step up with his boar spear and point it at Maven.
Maven, you can't keep giving pieces of yourself away because sooner or later there's going to be nothing left.
I've got plenty to go around. Thank you.
But this
I know.
is crazy.
I know.
Some would call it stupid.
No, really?
Maven, Corpse Flower, Amanita,
Some.
Lady of the Deadwood. You do have a daughter, yes?
I do. And I was never. That's
Do you
That
want
doesn't
her to
mean what you think it
recognize you
means.
again?
no.
Think of the children.
I am.
Tarneus, if you would allow us to go, I think that would be best for all of us. She
I
has been trying to
I-
get me killed since I
I'm-
met her. I do not think that you want her on your side.
Oh no, she does not stay here.
no. I'm coming with you guys. I just.
What
I
if you do
want.
this.
Oh, really?
Wait,
I would have
Ask
to
him-
agree with.
you still have a question you can ask. Ask him how to use the eternal guard in our favor or become an eternal guard or something. Anything, not vampirism, Maven.
I do not have those answers. I have tried to use what research I have found to use that in my favor, and I am far beyond that. And well, I do understand.
Well,
It's not a simple matter that is. It is a transformation itself.
I hope you're not the fragile sort who takes this criticism as an attack or anything, but you're turning out to be really useless now, aren't you?
Not if I get what I want.
Uh,
I don't
you
see
saying this to
that.
him?
Yes.
Are you saying this to him? Like, I have
He's been great.
fair. I have what I want, and you have nothing.
He was
Nothing.
giving a scroll, Oliver.
Still,
I am
I would
thinking it
have
is
to
time
say-
for us to be going.
And
Hmm.
he'll wave his hand and unlock the door and look at you, Maven. I do tell you, do not make this choice lightly. But all who wish to leave may. It will take days for this to happen.
Oliver, am I putting her over my shoulder now?
yes, and I'm not leaving this room until Maven Corpseflower, Amanita, Lady of Thorns, is out that door.
Stop liking me so much.
Viet
Just let me
shifts
do what I
shifts the dynamic warhammer to the pole and slides it into the sheath.
Oh, good
I
God.
need everyone to roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Including me, because I don't plan on moving.
Yeah, everybody. I said
Okay.
everybody.
Okay, sorry, gee.
I said everybody. What?
That is 13 for Oliver.
13
24.
for Oliver, 24 for Maven,
12
22?
for Viet.
12 for 22. And Swiftblade. Okay. Juniper, Maven. Nothing. You're fine. Everybody else, time just stopped. At least your perception of it. Juniper, Maven, you both see everyone stop talking, stop moving. And
God.
oh, it looks at you again, Juniper. Well done. So I would not give this power you are speaking, and I appreciate what you are doing. I don't agree myself, but you want to make a better future and are willing to be the monster who could never live there.
I don't envision myself in it, but I do envision myself bringing it about. Never
You
did.
must
At least
understand, even if you control it and use it, one day they will have to kill you.
I know. I'll beat them to it, but I know.
Looking at you, Juniper. So, what are your feelings? Are you going to force her out? I'm not going to stop any of you from any of this. I just wanted to have a brief, calm, kind of glancing at everyone again, calm moment.
I can't make the decision for you, Maven. You make your own decisions, but we have time. We have more time than you think we do. And everything comes with a cost. Everything.
I know. I don't know.
You don't have to be the only one to pay it.
What I'm worried about is I'm the only one who will. I'm willing to do this. Fully, completely willing to.
What
In
will
order
you
to
gain
get-
from it?
I don't care what I get out of it. It's not for me. It never has been. I never even anticipated to live through the ritual in the first place.
What good
I thought
will
I
it
was going to
do?
die. I kind of wished I had. Because now I got to clean up this damn mess. And I do not anticipate being back when it's done. Nor do I really want to be.
Then you've already lost.
Sure. But I'm going to do my best while I'm still here. And I'm putting every tool in the tool belt and I am doing everything I can. This is what I know to do. You take every resource available and you make something out of it. And by God, I'm going to make something out of this. And she points right here.
If you take every resource, eventually the land is barren.
You've been to the Deadwood?
No,
Touche.
Exactly.
that's just what happens.
I appreciate your input. I really do. This is not a decision you have to understand.
I know.
So let's get on with it then.
Oh no, this takes days.
And we're burning daylight, my friend. Just kidding. I'm kidding. We're in a cave.
Looking at Juniper as well. And your friends,
They can go back to camp. I'll meet you there.
will they?
They won't go without you, Maven. This is not going to end well.
Can we keep them like this?
Not forever, no.
I won't need
do this
forever.
for not in the length of time it would take. Well, I mean, yes, if no one in the room looking at you, Juniper, is going to stop the beginning of this, actually, yes, it could begin. Though the after, I feel like, is going to be a little bit more your problem and my problem than hers.
June, I trust you. If you see that I cannot handle this, you know what to do.
You
Okay.
put that on me. Don't you dare put that on me.
Okay,
That
fine.
is
I'll put
one
it on
more
this
thing.
guy.
That's one more thing I don't need.
That's
I
fine.
just-
Okay. Tarnation. Do what you have to.
Arneas.
I know. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I think it's funny. Do what you have to. If I can't handle it,
He is going to look back at the group and he's gonna have to use another high level spell to double down on this.
sorry.
Nope, it's quite all right. So he'll just resume it. Technically, yeah, everyone re-roll a wisdom save, but it'd be because you're still frozen in time during the recasting. I'm just giving a shot.
Mhm.
Disadvantage, not you, Killian, just
Oh,
because
okay.
he's not aiming at you. And
Yeah.
he was just, that was a wide berth. So yeah, this could go still horribly because it renews it. Or it doesn't. What?
23.
Well done.
Wait, do you want me to roll with disadvantage?
No, you're not frozen in your perception right now.
That's what I
the thing.
assumed, so I didn't.
Yeah. Oh, I have to roll for.
I'm so sorry that you have to watch this.
Oh, that was a low roll. Viet.
At disadvantage, it's a 7.
Yep. So you and Swiftblade are still out. Oliver
8.
and Oliver. He'll just kind of look at you and he's like, "You will not see me again, but I promise mine will not be a problem for you." And he'll look at Maven again and just, "This one could be if you travel with her. Be ready." And then like lightning, he's going to be on you, Maven, and bring you to the ground. And if you're not resisting in any way,
Mm-mm.
I'm not going to make you make any of the checks because he'll just do a prolonged bite.
I whisper, you should buy me dinner first.
I mean, you slipped him the Mickey with the Sentry thing, technically. So,
Least I can do. Stave off the blood madness.
all right. And then, you know what? I think that's a good place to stop as Maven is brought to the ground and all of a sudden goes motionless. And you see
Great.
Tarneus kind of lift up, mouth bloody, then bite into his own wrist and put it up to Maven's mouth and just is looking at you with apologetic eyes almost. And then
Just no broken eye contact. She's just watching the whole thing.
gently waves his hand and you hear a click behind you. And then he's, "Good luck." And lightning fast, he starts moving. And you can feel the wind as you get buffeted just a little bit as a door opens. And then Viet and Oliver all come out of it. And that's where we're ending.
Great. Viet's going to blame June for that too.
That's okay. No, it's
How
not
good
okay.
are you at acting? How good are you at acting? Their perception of
that's
time froze.
That's a charisma roll.
That's a charisma roll. So I guess out of all the things I had prepped for tonight, that was not one of them. Thank you all for joining us for this fantastic mistake.
No
Um,
kidding.
I am I am DM Scott. With me as always.
The artist formerly known as Maven Corpse Flower.
Oh, emphasis on the corpse flower.
Yeah.
And Mick playing Oliver.
Chris playing Viet.
Catherine playing Juniper.
Join us next week at 7:00 Central Time. Have a great week.
I'm just gonna get yelled at the whole session. I'm ready.
Oh yeah. Second, we're off the air.
I'll buy you a steak.
At the Screaming Goat.
Here we
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Ah!
Bye.
Have a great week.
Oh, come on.